What is up, everyone? I'm Skratch. Welcome to another Dragonheir Silent Gods video. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. You know what time it is, guys? It's time to review all of the Season 2 exclusive characters. Who should we pull for? Now, recently, I've made a video with Naf talking about the Season 2 meta, at least the Season 2 meta on the Chinese version. One thing to keep in mind, guys, even in Season 1, kind of like when we had a look at the meta on the Chinese version, the teams that they've made, we improved those teams, we changed those teams, and we achieved much better results overall. Okay, and I think we are going to do the exact same thing in Season 2 as well. That being said, keep in mind, even though you watched that video, we talked about Wild and Ice Blast, which one is more powerful for the Vortex, based on the Chinese version. Take that with a grain of salt, because we could potentially make a completely different team, make something better, okay? So you need to think about that as well. Before we get into it, I just want to give a massive shout out to every single one of you guys that is using code Skratch. If you want to help and support the channel, if you want to claim free rewards, head over to the website in the description down below or the pinned comment. Use code Skratch. You're going to claim free rewards straight away. And just to say thank you to every single one of you guys that is using code Skratch, jump in Discord. The link is in the description down below or in the pinned comment. Come and join us. Not only that we have the best freaking community for this game, but I'm hosting a guaranteed giveaway where you're gonna get 4 Heliolite dice, 600 gems, 40 Starlight Stone dice, and 1.2 million gold, okay? If by any chance you already received that from me, you're not going to be able to claim it again till this event is over and we're going to receive new codes. But I gave away over 14,000 codes and I still have around 6,000 codes. Come and freaking claim them, guys, because I just don't want to let them go to waste, okay? And much appreciate your support if you're using code Skratch. But I am currently on the test server, guys. We have access to pretty much everything, more or less, that is coming in Season 2. Now, this is a bit advanced. It feels like one day in real life is like 4 or 5 days in the game on the test server, because we have more or less everything unlocked. The summoning banners are not spot on anymore, because some of them already passed. But just to kind of like give you an idea, I'm going to explain you the order of the banners as well. And there will be selector banners as in Season 1. And you're going to have the very first banner at the beginning of the season, which will be Fire and Necrosis. Very similar with this one right here. Then the second one that will be for exclusives is going to be kind of like almost a 2 weeks gap in between them. You're going to have Ice and Radiance. That will be the second banner, okay? And that will only start like on at the end of the second week in the second season, more or less, something like that. Then we're going to have Lightning and Poison in this order. And then we're going to have a bunch of different ones in between for support characters and all that stuff. But for whoever is interested in the selector, right? For whoever is interested to see this type of banners. And one thing to keep in mind, if you are paying attention at these premium summons incineration banners, I'm not 100% sure if they will be selectors. I would assume they will be selectors, but it's just not displaying it in here. So you will have plenty of chances to decide what characters you are going to pull. At the moment, we have the final one, the Lightning and Poison, from where you can select a character at 300, okay? Now, let's quickly talk about the new exclusive characters, what they are good for, what we can actually do with them, and for which one we should summon. If we're going to head on to the gallery. So, first things first, we have Scatius coming in with a new school of damage, which is called Burn, okay? Or Incineration, or whatever the heck they've changed the name to. Burn. Now, every elemental affinity in Season 1 had one school of damage, right? Some of them were specialized in single target, some of them were specialized in AoE damage. The whole idea of the game is to have at least 2 schools of damage for each elemental affinity, being specialized in single target, and AoE damage. 2 for each elemental affinity. Now, when you are looking at this character, you cannot put him in the same team with a Flora. You cannot put him in the same team with a Casper or a Erich because nothing will happen. This is a burn character. This is a wild character. Two different things. They do not combine together even though they are from the same elemental affinity. And this will be the same for all of the new schools of damage coming to the game. I'm just saying that so you are well aware of it and you're not going to do the stupid mistake of trying to mix them together and be like, oh my god, I got a Scatius and Flora in the same team and I'm doing shit. Yeah, because they do not work together. So just to clear that from the very beginning for whoever is not familiar. But Mr. Scatius, AoE damage. That's the whole magic with him. You have an attack aura for all battles. You have the passive, basic attacks, enemies in 3 adjacent tiles in front, gaining 3% ultimate energy each time an enemy inflicted with a burn is hit. For each stack of burn and any target on the field, the hero gains 1 stack of Scorching Rhythm, which will increase his attack by 2.5% up to 20 stacks, equal 50% increase attack. Now, for whoever is wondering what burn actually does, it is a debuff that can stack up to 9 times. Stacking beyond 9 stacks will cause a blast, dealing 100% attack fire damage to surrounding enemies. When dispelled, only 1 stack is removed with blast triggered, okay? So this will generate a lot of damage. Think about the fire poison, kind of like that. You just don't have so many stacks and they do a bit of more damage. So that's basically the new mechanic. Now with his battle skill, he will deal 400% attack fire damage to enemies within range and inflicts ignite. When stacked to 100%, converts into 1 stack of burn. When you reach 9 stacks of burn, you're gonna have the detonation as well. So this is a melee character. As you guys can probably notice on his range, that is one of the downside with the character, but that's not something that stopped us in Season 1. And we are not playing the old version where people will trash melee characters as not being good, okay? The ultimate will cover the entire map and will deal attack fire damage to all enemies and inflicts 50% ignite. With a battle skill, he's gonna do 50 more, so that's bang 1 burn directly. Then marks all enemies inflicted with burn, immediately triggering blast. Rounded down for half of their burn stacks. And will deal additional damage. This extra damage increases by 100% for each stack of blast triggered, which can go up to 900%, okay? Because you can have 9 stacks. Overall, he was a very powerful character in the old version, but they've changed the way burn works since. Now, I've seen some teams in the endgame, and they can do crazy, crazy numbers. The only problem with this exclusive character is that a lot of people are saying that Duram, which is a non-exclusive character, will end up in doing way more damage than Scatius on the exact same build. Now, this is something that I need to confirm myself. I will be doing different videos spotlighting each one of the new schools of damage today, tomorrow, so definitely stay tuned for that as well. The whole idea is that a lot of people say that you shouldn't necessarily try and get Scatius. Even though I've seen 800-900 million damage in the end game, I would strongly disagree with what those people are saying based on the Chinese version, because I personally think that even though Duram might be able to out-damage him without a Scatius, the team won't be looking too good. Now, Carf is their main activator, which drops a lot of ignite to stack those burns on the enemies, but the epics, they kind of suck. And yeah, Scatius will be great at content like the Feymander, possibly a bit in PvP, but not too OP in there because they do need to get the stacks and everything else, but they can one-shot. They can do crazy things in the Fey. It will be great in the endgame boss, the Chief Challenge, and overall, some of the dungeons as well. Okay? So I think it's definitely one of the better options in terms of new exclusive characters. Moving on to the next one. we have a new poisoner, which is Sleight. Now, he does not introduce a new mechanic or a new school of damage. He is more of a poison activator. So he will bring in a new debuff, which is called Potent Medicine, that will deal poison derivative damage. It will do the exact same thing as a poison. Now, from my point of view, I find it extremely weird to see that nobody on the Chinese version, at least on NAF's server, used this champion in any of the teams. Because from what I'm seeing, you can stack 40 poisons on a target. But because of this Potent Medicine, which eventually, in the end, does the exact same thing as a poison, it means that you can stack even more of them on the same target. So I'm very curious to see if he just doesn't tend to work too well with the teams that we are going to have in Season 2. Vikana will be the MVP in the endgame versus the endgame boss. I remember it from the previous version. It's just the way her AoE will work versus those targets. So if you have a Vikana, you will need her for the endgame boss, okay? And maybe he just doesn't fit in that team. Vikana will out-damage Lotair, will out-damage Twitch and everybody else in that fight. But still, I'm very curious to see why this dude is just not doing any magic. And I will be testing him, okay? The battle skill, again, attacks an enemy 4 times, dealing poison damage with a chance of inflicting a stack of poison. The last attack has a chance of inflicting a stack of potent medicine. And when the poison damage is triggered, this effect counts as an additional poison stack. So basically, you can have, instead of 40 poison stacks, 50, 60 of them. God knows how many potent medicines he can actually put, right? So that is pretty damn crazy in my opinion. But I guess I will have to see if I can replace a character like Durango with him. Heck, maybe replace Twitch with him and inflict more poisons and stacks of potent medicine. And push the damage even more. And the ultimate is a triple hitter, an AoE, great for the Witch's Remains if you don't want to use it on a different character. And he will inflict stacks of poisons. And he will inflict stacks of potent medicine as well. Sounds like a pretty good character. In my opinion, this is definitely not a must-have unit. He is an exclusive character, but he does not have an exclusive artifact. So he's more like a premium character, to say like this. But an enabler for the poison element. Once I'm gonna test him, I will let you guys know if he's actually pushing the poison to the next level or not. Moving on to the next one, we have Perkunte. Absolutely freaking insane. At least in the end game boss, the chief challenge, the damage was out of this world from Thunderbolt. Okay, this is once again a new school of damage specialized in AoE because Dauntless is specialized in single target. So you will require other Thunderbolt / Lightning characters to be put in the same team. Now they've changed the way he works because in the past he used to stack something with the artifact and with a passive, if I remember it correctly, which is not the case anymore. So he will deal derivative damage as well. And when the hero's present, whenever an ally triggers a lightning chain that deals damage, there's a chance of additionally triggering a lightning bolt, dealing attack derivative damage. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to want to build him with crazy high enlightenment, okay? Because giving him some crit and stuff, it will be pretty important. Think about building Durango, but without the accuracy, right? The battle skill will deal attack and enlightenment damage to enemies with a chance of triggering a lightning chain. Now, he will require the accuracy though, because I've just said it, in order to basically land the electrocuted, which is the debuff on the AoE. Attacks all enemies twice, dealing attack and enlightenment damage. The first attack has a 100% chance of inflicting electrocuted for 8 seconds. What does electrocuted do? When a target with electrocuted is hit by lightning chain, it dispels electrocuted to increase lightning chain bounces by 1. And the lightning chain deals attack derivative lightning damage to an enemy. The lightning chain prioritizes chaining to the nearest valid target, and the damage is reduced by 20% per chain. Basically, he's going to be goated as an AoE damage dealer. Pretty much, he's going to work in the exact same areas as Scatius. Great in some of the dungeons, like Grave of Venom, for example. Goblin. Great in the Fae. Great in the Pillar of Trial, where you have AoE, you require AoE attacks. The endgame boss and the Chief Challenge. Because you will require to bring in big AoE attacks versus this content. And he is great in PvP. He was good in PvP before as well. Now, he does have an exclusive artifact, but this is, if you're going for Beldelle, this should be your second exclusive that you're getting, okay? If you're not going for Beldelle, this should be your first exclusive that you're getting. I think he was very strong in Season 3 and Season 4 as well, for endgame content too. Now, of course, things like that can change depending on what other characters they're bringing in. But overall, he is very, very solid. Not for the Temporal Vortex. He's not a character for the Temporal Vortex. Moving on to the next one, guys, we have a new Radiance character, Gladis. Once again, this is not a character that brings anything new. It's just another rally enabler. One thing that's really, really important from my point of view is how will this skill hit enemies? How many times can we target an enemy? And is this character a good character to use the Witch's Remains? If that's the case, we can easily drop Alton out of the team, gain more buffs, gain tons of rally stacks, and overall improve the rally team by a bit. If not, out of all of the 6 exclusives, this might be the most underwhelming one that is going to be introduced in Season 2. Because I cannot see a team where I'm going to drop my Laurentiel for Gladys to run my rally team over in any content. It's just not happening. The ultimate energy that I'll be gaining from there and everything else that comes from Laurentiel, the increased crit rate, the increased attack as well, is just not making any sense. But leaving all that on the side, she does look pretty damn amazing. Okay, so she's going to buff with a lot of rally stacks. I will try her out to see how the ultimate skill plays out. If she can apply defense down and I can still run Filton and Hubert with Laurentiel and with her, then it's great. If that's not the case, probably the weakest out of all of the exclusives brought into Season 2. Then we have Beldelle, a new school of damage called Ice Blast, which specializes in using the battle skill to deal damage. She is going to be the best in the Temporal Vortex out of the new characters. She is going to do crazy, crazy damage. She is going to be able to compete with Flora, okay? Based on whatever weekly modifiers we're going to have. Sometimes the Wild might win. Sometimes the Ice Blast might win over a Flora team. The problem is that we don't really have very good examples of seeing teams going ham head to head. But tomorrow I will be dropping a video to basically clear this once and for all. We are going to do a video on Ice Blast versus Wild in the Temporal Vortex, but that is only going to drop tomorrow. So let's quickly dive into her skill set. We have an attack aura for all battles. We have the passive. If the hero has Ice Crystal after casting a battle skill, consumes 1 more stack of Ice Crystal to cast the battle skill again. At over 3 stacks of Ice Crystal, converts 300% of the excess crit rate into crit damage. Which means that if you have 150% crit rate on the character, 50% of the crit rate will be converted into 150% crit damage. Okay? One thing to keep in mind. Some people are really stressing about, oh my god, I'm gonna move crit rate gloves into the next season just for her. You know what, guys? If you take a glove, that's crit rate, you're gonna get 40% crit rate. If you bring in a crit damage glove, you're gonna get double the double of that. If you equip a crit rate glove on a character that has an artifact that gives you crit rate from it as well, your crit damage overall will be extremely low. Okay, so I don't think it's really going to be like a massive difference in what you're running, crit rate gloves or crit damage gloves, as long as you have the crit damage gloves that you probably forged from the event with a quad roll on crit. Because even like that, I can easily overflow the crit rate to like 120%, and without including the passive, still have around 300% crit damage on her, plus whatever comes from the passive will probably push me to like 350 plus crit damage. Okay, so that is definitely doable regardless of what gloves you might be picking. What I would recommend you to do is take the gear that can work on multiple characters. Okay, then, leaving all that on the side, moving on to the battle skill, deals 420% attack roll damage to the enemy, ignoring the target shield and increasing damage dealt by 50% against shielded units. Afterwards, the hero gains crit damage up for 5 seconds, up to 5 stacks. So this will push her crit damage up further more, which will enable her to get a lot of freaking crit damage. You are going to get a lot of Ice Blast crystals on these characters. When they will use the battle skill, if you have the right team, they will use the battle skill 5 times back to back, like a machine gun. And then, when they can use it again, more or less, they're going to be in the same spot. That's how they deal so much damage. Their ultimates are pretty irrelevant, because it's not what really deals the damage in here. Their ultimate are okay. Yes, they will gain a stack of ice crystals from here, but the main thing that will drop in the big damage is the battle skill. Now, she is a very, very good character. If you do not have Sheena, she's not going to be that good anymore, but you will have a chance to get them both. You have a selector chest at the beginning of the season from where you can pick Sheena from what I've seen. So make sure you are saving that, but I will be doing a different video where I'm going to kind of like warn you about those mistakes. The final exclusive, Bernard. Absolutely freaking amazing design, okay? And her kit is good as well. If by any chance you are a huge Summoners fan and you're running a little Wanis team, that's what you're maining, I would highly recommend you to get this unit as well. Every single season, you have the ability to get guaranteed at least 3 exclusive characters. If you're lucky to summon some more on the way, you can get more than that. But if you're managing your resources wisely, you're going to be able to get double Beldelle if you want to, or a Beldelle and somebody else from the other exclusives. And you can get her as well. Okay? So I want you to think about that part. She's going to be a very good enabler, a buffer for the Necrosis characters, which is really, really good, because the main thing, I freaking hate Urzilas, okay? He is trash at applying defense down because he only has 1 hit. Now she's going to summon the Bear King back to the hero and grants Natural Instinct to all undead creatures and Summoner School heroes. For the next 6 seconds, Bernard will ride the Bear King and continuously charge at the farthest enemy, dealing 200% attack necrotic damage to surrounding enemies every 1 second. So basically, for 6 seconds, attacking every 1 second, you're going to be able to have 6 hits that will guarantee you to land the defense down, so the rest of your characters can go absolutely ham on the enemy. Really, really good. And at the end, Bernard returns to the initial position and resummons the Bear King. During the charge, if any target on the field dies, the Natural Instinct will be granted to all summoned units and Summoner School heroes. Let's quickly find out what that buff does. So, the Natural Instinct will increase the damage dealt by 3%. Each stack of Natural Instinct increases the damage dealt by summoned units by 3% for 10 seconds, up to 20 stacks. After granting Natural Instinct to a Summoner School hero or summoned unit, the next application grants 1 additional stack of Natural Instinct. And then you have the Battle skill, which summons a temporary Bear Spirit to attack the target and grants Natural Instinct to all summoned units and Summoner School heroes. When the Bear Spirit disappears, it deals damage to surrounding enemies. So basically, it will buff your entire team. and it will increase the damage dealt. But that doesn't mean you're going to drop Urzilas out of your team, because he's going to give you attack up and damage up, which is something completely different. But paired together with this, they will go even crazier. Now, we will have another character, the Dark Lady, which is going to be another exclusive character coming into Season 2. So far, we have no details of when that will happen, but it will happen guaranteed. We know that for a fact. So, you gotta consider the following things. Which exclusive character is going to benefit you the most? Beldelle is great versus the Temporal Vortex. Good in speedruns, but she won't be used in the Chaos challenge bosses or the endgame boss, because you will require more or less AoE damage. So Ice Blast overall will fall short comparing them with the other school of damage from the ice element. If we're talking about Thunderbolt, Perkunte is going to be extremely important for the endgame boss and the chief challenge, accomplishing a huge amount of damage. When we're talking about a Scatius, he can be good, but people are saying that Duram does more damage than a Scatius. And if that really is the case, that means that you don't necessarily need to stress too much about getting a Scatius, which kind of like leaves you with Perkunte, Beldelle, Bernard, and the Dark Lady whenever that banner is going to come. The main advice, be prepared, because the Dark Lady, I have a feeling, is going to drop at around the middle of the season. Somewhere next month, most probably. And you definitely want to be prepared for that too. She's an amazing character, an iconic character for Dragonheir, and it can be very powerful in a Necrosis team. That being said, guys, that is my review, and pretty much kind of like description. Let me just put it like that. We described the characters too. We kind of like had a look at what they're doing, and that's how I would prioritize the characters. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. As usual, much love. Don't forget to use code Skratch to claim free rewards, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.